chance that your YouTube settings are not set up correctly. And the reason why this is so important is because if you do not have your YouTube settings set up correctly, then you won't be able to get pushed out to the YouTube algorithm. These are a couple of the 36 channels that we are running right now. We have a buttload of channels that are getting pushed out to the algorithm. As you can see here, we are running a buttload of channels. And I want to kind of explain what I do when I'm actually going through my, my settings, making sure my channel is set up correctly, making sure my feature eligibility is set up correctly. Because if you don't do these things first, then you won't be able to get pushed out to the algorithm later, and then your trust score is going to decrease. We're going to talk about trust score a little bit later as well. This is going to be a very in-depth video, so make sure to take notes, pay attention, and then after you watch this video, apply it to your own channel so you can actually fix your views and, overall just end up pushing out to the algorithm more. And I'm actually going to go over step by step over everything from actually creating the channel to the Gmail and making sure everything is good. So the first thing you're going to do is after you go to your YouTube homepage on your computer, click on the top right and click on switch accounts. Now, you're probably not going to have all these accounts here, but at the very, very, very bottom of this, you're going to see an option that says view all channels. When you click on view all channels, it's going to take you to where all the accounts you've made under this Gmail is. Now you can see here, we have a lot of accounts here, but you're going to click on create a new channel if you haven't already. Now, if you've already made a channel and you're already basically done with this step, then we're going to go to the next one. But it's better if you're, starting a new channel, just create a new channel at this point, unless, the other channel has a higher trust score, which we're also going to go over later in this video. So let's say I just make this video like test Devin channel. All right, test Devin channel. We're going to hit create account. And then after we create the account, it's going to take a couple seconds. It's going to ask us what account do we want to actually sign into. And then I'm just going to click on the first one because that's usually the one I always go with. And then boom, we have the account actually created. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to go to your studio, and then I'll explain the next steps after this. So when you go to your studio, if you click on settings and then you click on switch account, you should see the option right here that says test Devin channel, or whatever channel that you created. Click on that channel, and then when you click on that channel, it's going to take you to a little tutorial real quick to make sure you know everything. After you do that, click on settings and then click on channel. All right, this is where you start paying attention. So make sure your country of residence is wherever you live. Do not pretend you live in the United States if you live in the Philippines or India or wherever else, right? If you live in the UK, just say you live in the UK. If you live in Ethiopia, say you live in Ethiopia, right? So I'm going to go ahead and select the United States because I live in the United States. Then we're going to go to advanced settings. After we go to advanced settings, make sure you say, no, this channel is not made for kids. Unless you're uploading like CoComelon type content, I like setting this to always not made for kids, because eventually when you apply for AdSense, you're going to need to make sure this is enabled. If it's not enabled, then it's not going to actually get approved for monetization, because YouTube will see that you're maybe circumventing the system. All right, scroll down. Make sure you say allow viewers to click your content, because this actually can let you get more reach. And then let YouTube enhance visual and audio. Make sure that's enabled. Make sure that you allow third-party companies to not train for AI models. This doesn't really matter too much, but I don't want any AI taking my content and being able to replicate it. So make sure all of this is set up like that. All right. Now, this is the most important part. Click on feature eligibility. Now, if you just created the account, it's going to look something like this, where it says standard features is probably enabled, and then you're going to need to do intermittent features and advanced features. Now, for intermittent features, all you got to do is verify a phone number. If you do not have a phone number to verify, do not use some type of third-party website and then use a temporary phone number, because eventually you may have to verify with that phone number and you'll get locked out of your account. All right. So make sure if you're going to verify a phone number, use yours, use a trusted family member, use a trusted friend, someone that you're going to be able to stay in contact with. So if you need to actually, send a verification code to it, you can just prove that to YouTube that, hey, you own this account because you have access to this phone number. All right. Now, what I do, because, you guys are probably wondering, I have so many channels. What I've done over the years is I just, had channels underneath my phone, then a second phone, and a third phone. And I've also used my brother's phone, my mom's phone, my dad's phone, and friends' phones as well to verify all these accounts, right? So I basically use everyone's phone to verify my accounts. Now, as for advanced features, this is very important. If you were under the age of 18, you can still apply, all right? As long as you're over the age of 13, which I'm sure everyone watching this is above the age of 13. Now, if you do not have a valid ID, you can still get through the system through channel history. This takes a little bit of time though. It takes around 2 months, all right, of like actually watching videos and uploading videos on this channel. It'll take 2 months if you do not have an ID. Now, the other thing you can do is a video verification, but this is basically through like a third party. They send the video, Google gets the video, they send it to a third party, and the third party basically verifies if you're over the age of 18 or 13 or not. Now, some of you look like children, and because of that, you may actually get denied when you do this video application. All right. So make sure that all this is set up correctly. When all this is set up correctly, it should look something like this right here, where you have everything enabled, all of it's green. When you do this, then boom, the first part of your trust score is set up correctly. Now let's talk about emails. Now, I get this question all of the time. Is it better to have an aged Gmail or an aged YouTube channel? Or this question as well, Devin, do I need to have an aged YouTube channel to be able to get pushed to the algorithm and increase my trust score, right? And the answer to the second question, if you need a aged YouTube channel, is no, you do not, right? As long as your email is old enough, right? And now they get you another question here of like, okay, how old does my email need to be? Well, let's go over that now, right? So when I tell you you need to have an aged Gmail, right? Aged Gmail, what this means is it means take the oldest Gmail that you own and use that for your channel creation, right? If you have an email that is 8 years old, use that email. If your oldest email is 1 year old and you just, for some reason, just created a Google account for the very first time, then use that Gmail, okay? Use the oldest Gmail that you have available to you and use that to create your account. Now, why do we need to do this, okay? So YouTube is owned by Google, and Google's interface takes Google accounts and makes YouTube accounts, right? They're basically linked. Now, if Google sees that you have a new Gmail, sometimes they may detect that this new Gmail here is a bot, right? Because there's always new Gmails being created by lots of bots. If you use a new Gmail to make a new YouTube channel, it may get detected as a bot, and then you will immediately get stuck in zero view jail, which is another reason why a lot of you guys are in zero view jail, because you're making new YouTube channels underneath your new Gmail accounts. Now, I recommend use an aged Gmail, the oldest you have, all right? You don't need to go buy a Gmail. Even if it's 6 months old, that's okay, just as long as you're using it. Are you using it to watch YouTube videos? Are you logged into other things? Are you creating accounts underneath that Gmail? Are you getting like newsletters and stuff in that Gmail? Are you sending emails in that Gmail? If you are, then boom, your account is aged. It's good enough. I would say like 6 months is a good time frame to have a Gmail, like at the bare minimum. The older, the better. Okay, so this is the solution for having an aged Gmail. All right, make sure all your YouTube accounts are underneath the aged Gmail. Now, for aged YouTube channels, it does not matter. For example, this Test Devin channel that we just created over here, this channel, I could literally, upload a video tomorrow and it can get pushed out. I recommend waiting 24 hours, right? But we created this channel just now, right? It's November 19th, and I could upload a video on November 20th, and the videos could start getting pushed out immediately as long as all my feature eligibility and stuff was already good. My aged Gmail was good, and then the video quality was actually good. And we're gonna go over how to make good videos later in this bootcamp, of course. But this is the first step. All right. After you do all of this, then you have an aged Gmail, and then you have a YouTube channel that has all your feature eligibility and all the settings enabled, then you're pretty much good to go. Now, I'm going to show you the next step of actually making sure your settings are good for your videos, because if your video settings aren't good, then your video may not get pushed out. So we're going to go over that now. Now, after you actually upload the video to YouTube, make sure it's private first so you can review all the settings. The first thing you need to look at is your video quality. Make sure your video quality says SD and HD as well. If the HD is still processing or it's only SD, it's only going to upload in 720p, which is not high enough quality for it to get pushed out to get millions of views as we want, okay? The second thing is you want to make sure our titles are short and sweet. You can use emojis if you want. Do not make your titles too long, or else it won't be able to show up on the entire homepage for YouTube. You can see here, I just have Mass Morph Troll LOL. I keep it very short and sweet. I don't do any extra stuff, right? No search optimization, nothing. And I'll explain why I don't do that in a second. If you use vidIQ and you have this little score here, shorts, searchability does not matter at all unless you're making very niche specific content. But this is the view maximizing bootcamp. We're trying to get the most amount of views, right? So we want to make sure it's broad as possible. Don't worry about the score here if you use vidIQ. Now, if you scroll down, you're going to notice my description is blank, right? And the reason my description is blank is because I don't want any metadata to get picked up by the YouTube algorithm. I wanted just the YouTube algorithm to find it naturally. And because YouTube algorithm is so good at picking up metadata, it will find the correct audience. All right. If you scroll in a little further, you can pick a thumbnail if you want. I never really focus on picking thumbnails. You don't need to put in a playlist. It doesn't really affect the views. Always make sure it says not made for kids. All right. And then say, no, do not restrict my videos. And then if you go down a little further, unless you're using AI content, then do not click on this. I just leave this blank because it doesn't matter. But if you are using AI content or making some type of deep fake stuff or something like that, say yes. All right. Collaborators. This is a huge feature. This actually got released last week. And I want to talk about this because collaborators is a huge feature that was released. My students found out about this. When you are using a collaborator, all right, let's say you are a bigger channel inviting a smaller channel that you own both of these. The smaller channel will gain traction immediately and the trust score will increase faster because YouTube sees that bigger channels are trusting the smaller channel. So if you have multiple channels that are in the same niche, you can collab with each other. It is not against the terms of service, and both channels will gain subscribers, views. Now, only one of them is actually going to make money from the collab, but both of them will be able to reach further to monetization if they're not already at monetization. The smaller one's going to get a lot more reach, and then it can build its own audience. Like, for example, if you have a Roblox channel, and then you have another Roblox channel, and you invite each other, then you're going to be able to get pushed out a lot quicker. I'm going to show you an example of this now. So this is a channel that we started not too long ago, and it was stuck in around 30K view jail, and we wanted to do some testing with collaboration. So if we go to content right here, and we go to shorts, you can see here that these videos were kind of stuck in 30K, but it's getting pushed out more now. You can see these were kind of stuck in 30K here, but this video was a pretty big outlier, right? So if we go to analytics, and we look at this channel, you can see here that we got pushed out dramatically. And the reason this happened is because we actually took this channel and we put it in a collaboration with this other channel here. So we collaborated right about here, and then this video got pushed out. And now, because we collaborated with this channel here, and this channel is now getting pushed out drastically, if we actually go to our YouTube studio, you can see here that we have a 1 out of 10 on our latest video, and now every single video is a 1 out of 10, and we're getting pushed out a lot quicker every single time now. We basically increase our trust score with collaborations, which is why if you have people, who you can actually collab with, it is very, very helpful, right? If you got friends, or you can even join our community and talk to people there. There are so many like-minded people. I mean, a lot of our people are collaborating with each other. So, I mean, it's a great feature to have. Now, all of this automatic chapters, feature places, automatic concepts, you can just check all these for now. These don't really matter. This is important. Your tags. Do not use any tags. I don't care who tells you what. If you use tags, you will limit your reach because of how YouTube's metadata works. Do not use tags, all right? Tags is a very bad thing to use. It'll limit your reach heavily. I'll explain why a second back on the Miro board, but let's just go down real quick. Make sure your language is in the native language that the short is being recorded on. And then you can make sure all of this says standard YouTube license here. Recording date, you don't need one if you don't want one. But this right here, this license here, you can see you have two options, Creative Commons and YouTube Standard License. If you click on Creative Commons here, what's going to happen is anyone who sees that short is allowed to basically repeat it and upload it, right? So it makes your video basically, you're not allowed to strike anyone if someone steals your videos. So I recommend always having standard YouTube license on unless you want people to actually use your content, all right? Now, as for category, it does not really matter. Shorts remixing, I always allow video and audio because remixing actually boosts our short further. Automatic dubbing, I recommend having manual dubbing on only, right? And then for category, I recommend just clicking on entertainment. I do this for every single video and every single niche. I don't care what I'm uploading. I just do entertainment because I'm trying to get the most views, and entertainment gets the most reach. Comments and ratings, I always do comments on. I always have moderation as none because I just want the most comments possible. And then sort by top or newest, I recommend doing top because that's the most engaging comments. And that's everything you need for your details part of your shorts. Also, another great feature, if you go to your editor over here, let's say you actually go to your analytics and then you see there's a retention dip here. Now, there's no retention dip here because this video got like 10 million views, but let's say there was a retention dip here. What you could do is you can go to your editor, you can actually click on trim, right? And then you can actually cut it up to edit the video. Now, usually you can only do this for some YouTube shorts. For this one, it's not giving me the option for some reason. But if you do have the option, you can trim it up. I think it has to be like uploaded within a certain time period for you to be able to edit it. You don't need any end screen or info cards though, because it's a YouTube short, of course. And then if you are monetized, make sure your monetization is turned on. Pretty easy stuff, guys. Now, this is more for long form, but I'm just going to include it anyway because we're talking about all the YouTube settings. If you guys are doing long form, I recommend just turning on this audio here and publicizing everything. It just makes it easier and allows you more reach. It will limit your RPM if you are doing, for example, like Mangala. Like if you do that, then it may limit your RPM because you're getting pushed to other people from other countries. If you want to limit to only US audiences, then you can just leave this blank. And that is basically the majority of settings that you need to know in order to actually make sure your account is optimized to increase your trust score and end up getting more views. There's also one thing I want to talk about, which is going to be in day 3 of the bootcamp, which we're talking about tomorrow a little bit more. But I want to talk about metadata, right? So if you guys don't know what YouTube metadata is, right? Metadata is basically data that is stored inside of the YouTube system to be able to categorize each and every viewer to push to the correct audience. All right. So let's say we have this metadata term here. All right. I like imagining the YouTube algorithm as a giant box. All right. And in this giant box, there are tons of little bubbles, and these bubbles are niches. Okay. So we have like, let's say the money making space, because you're watching this, you want to make money, right? And we have the ASMR space, right? People who just make weird sounds. We have cooking, and then we have cars, and then let's say we have like pottery or something really random, right? Pottery. So we have all of these random niches here, and of course there are actual thousands and thousands of niches. Let's say we are this little red dot, okay? We, the viewer. This viewer is a little red dot. So every single time, let's say we are interested in cars and making money, and then we also watch some pottery videos, right? So the YouTube algorithm sees this, and they'll actually push out videos to these specific people, right? These specific people who like watching these things. And you may think, well, okay, I'm making videos in the Roblox niche. Let's put another one here for Roblox. Right? I'm making videos in the Roblox niche. So shouldn't I do hashtag Roblox? The answer is no, because there's a lot of people who play Fortnite, and there's a lot of people who just play games in general. There's a lot of little kids who play with their friends who watch Roblox, and they don't necessarily watch, Roblox consistently, but if a Roblox video comes up on their feed, they will watch it, right? If we are trying to do hashtag Roblox, our video will only be targeted to people who actually watch Roblox, and we will not get any of these other guys and these other niches here that could potentially watch our videos. So we're basically limiting us to one single string, right? So imagine the YouTube algorithm like this. This is how the YouTube algorithm works. It's a big string of metadata, all right? So when we don't use hashtags, we basically erase all of these lines over here, and we're able to actually connect to every single one of them, right? Because then our video here, let's say this is our video is going to be green. It's going to target all of these people in all of these different niches and become a huge web. This is how you view maximize, right? Because I get the most amount of views I possibly can. We've generated almost 2 billion views this month and 26 billion views over the past like 8 years of me doing content, all right? So trust me, this works. I'm telling you guys right now, this works. Now, in day 3 of the bootcamp, which is going to be the next video, I'm going to be explaining how to actually find your niche, how to optimize this metadata. But this is more of just to make sure your YouTube settings are dialed in correctly, because if it's not, then you're not going to get views. So I hope this video is helpful. I'll see you guys in day 3. I love you guys. Subscribe if you learn anything. If you want to work with me, apply it in the description. I love you guys. All right, bye.